You need a piece of cardboard, which should be about 80 centimeters long and 55 centimeters wide. It can be a bit bigger or smaller depending on the size of your dollhouse. Now glue cardboard strips, which should be around 6 centimeters high, on it to make the porch. Make sure you use enough cardboard strips. I had to add a little bit more later on because it wasn't enough to support the whole dollhouse. Now glue a piece of cardboard on top. And here you see me adding more cardboard strips for more support. Since my cardboard wasn't very durable, I had to add a second layer before building the dollhouse on top of that. Depending on the thickness of your cardboard, you might need even more. Use pencil to draw lines where you want the walls to go and fill the area inside those lines with popsicle sticks or any other flooring that you like. You can use carpet, you can use little miniature tiles, or you can use sticky back plastic. It's really up to you. Cut out a piece of cardboard that fits into the uncovered area. Unfortunately, I didn't have one that was big enough, so I used 3 and I covered them in paper that looks like marble, or you can use any other type of paper, whatever you like. You can use white paper or even make a wooden porch. To make the walls, glue several layers of cardboard together. Make sure that the walls are durable enough since they have to support the second floor, and also make sure that they are high enough for your dolls. Of course, don't forget to cut out the door and windows. Cover the outside of the dollhouse with paper, for example with paper that looks like stone. I recommend using paper with some kind of texture or a pattern because it will make it easier to hide anything that doesn't look very neat and tidy, and it makes it so much easier when you don't have to be super accurate and precise. Also cover the window frames in white paper, and before painting the inside of the dollhouse pink, I applied textured paper to the walls because I'm using recycled cardboard that was used for packaging and it is a little bit damaged. Now cut out a piece of cardboard that fits on top of the walls, poke holes into it and pop fairy lights through those holes to make the ceiling. As you can see in the video, I pulled the first light bulb all the way through in order to attach a lampshade later on, and also I let one light bulb hang down on the outside to make a little lantern for the door. I am using the last 2 for upstairs, so I'm not going to pop them through a hole now. Paint the ceiling white and glue it on top of the walls with the painted side facing down. Cut out several strips of copper that are about 2.5 centimeters high and glue them around the edges and also in the middle of the ceiling. They are meant to separate the ceiling from the second floor to make room for the fairy lights. Make sure that you surround the piece with the batteries and the light switch with copper in order to hold it in place when you're turning the lights on and off, but don't get any glue on any parts of the fairy lights, and it's very important to use LED lights because they do not get hot. The piece of cardboard for the second floor has to be about 0.5 centimeter smaller around the edges than the ceiling. Cut out a triangle that is as wide as the dollhouse and remove the right hand corner to get a smaller one, which has to be at the same angle as the large one. Cut out a window from the large triangle and cover it in paper, and then glue it to the front of the dollhouse as you see me doing it in the video. Now you need a triangle that is half the size of the large one for the other side. Make sure they are at the same angle. Now push the second floor on top and poke a hole into the corner for the last 2 light bulbs. Cover it in the flooring of your choice. I use cork, and push it back into place without gluing it on because you want to be able to access the fairy lights at any time without destroying the dollhouse. Use a large piece of cardboard for the main roof and a small one for the roof in the front. Cover the edges and the inside with white paper and glue it in place. It's very important that you only glue on one side, since you have to be able to fold up the other side of the roof in order to remove the floor and access the fairy lights. To make the roof tiles, use gray paper or paint it, cut it into strips and simply glue it to the roof. To make steps that lead to the front door, stack cardboard and cover the top in marble paper, glue to the bottom and cover the edge in the same paper as the house. Then do the same but smaller and glue it on top. I found this artificial moss in a crafting store. If you don't want to buy this, you could also use green felt. I made a little tree by wrapping a pipe cleaner around these two artificial plants. To make the door, you can just paint the little piece that you cut out earlier, or you can cover it in paper. I decided to add a few details, but you don't have to do this if you don't want to. Poke holes into the bottom and the top of the door frame for the toothpicks that are attached to the door, and for the door to be able to move around, it has to be slightly smaller than the door frame. Now make two pillars for the front door by stacking cardboard and cover it in the same paper as the house. Now make a tiny roof by using two pieces of cardboard and then cover it with the same roof tiles as the main roof. For the lantern, fold a small piece of cardboard 4 times, cut out 4 rectangle shapes, glue see-through paper to it, add a little thread, and insert the fairy light at the front door after gluing the lantern to the roof. It. I hope you enjoyed the video. I really love the dollhouse and the way it turned out. I had so much fun making it. Thank you so much for watching. If you would like to see more videos, make sure you subscribe to my channel and follow me on Instagram. Bye bye!